Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into a pretty bold argument that the global financial system is on the very edge of a massive, massive shift. And right at the center of it all, one of the oldest assets in the world, gold.
Okay, let's just dive right in. The source we're looking at today kicks things off with a serious warning that the very foundation of our wealth, our dollars, our savings, our retirement funds, is at risk of being devalued, maybe a lot faster than any of us think.
The claim here is that what we're seeing from central banks around the world isn't just them, shuffling their portfolios around. No, the argument is they are actively preparing for a totally new monetary system, one where real, tangible wealth is king, not just paper promises.
All right, so what's really pushing this change? Well, according to the source, it all starts with a really basic difference in the stuff we use to buy things every day. And once you see it, it kind of changes how you look at everything. Okay, to really get what this is all about, we've got to break down two super important words, money and currency. Now, according to this perspective, they are not the same thing at all, and most of us, we're only using one of them. Think about it like this. The cash in your wallet, that's currency. It's great for buying stuff, it's easy to carry, it doesn't fall apart, and a dollar is a dollar, right? But here's the catch, the big vulnerability. It can be printed over and over with no real limit. Now, look at this. What's so fascinating here is that last row. The source argues that for something to be actual money, not just currency, it needs one more crucial quality. It has to be a store of value, and the only way it can truly store value is if there's a limited amount of it, like gold. And this brings us to a really mind-bending point in the argument. Inflation isn't just some accident. It's presented as a built-in feature of the system. See, by creating more currency, the value of every single dollar you've saved goes down. It's a quiet way of moving wealth from people who save to the people who can print, something gold's fixed supply just wouldn't allow.
So, you might be asking, how in the world did we get to this point? Well, the source points to three huge moments in history where the connection between the US dollar and gold was broken, one piece at a time.
So this timeline really lays it all out. From taking gold away from its own citizens to basically defaulting on its promise to the entire world in 1971, each step removed what the source calls the fiscal handcuffs, that discipline that a gold standard forces on spending. And wow, this quote from a former Federal Reserve chairman and just nails the point. The system we were left with, according to this argument, is one that basically allows for the slow, steady confiscation of wealth from anyone trying to save, all through inflation. And hey, if you're enjoying our explainers, please take a second to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss out on any of our updates. Okay, let's fast forward to today. According to the source, our entire global system of unlimited currency creation depends on one single invisible thing. That's it. This is what's known as a fiat currency. It's not backed by gold, it's not backed by oil, it's backed by, well, faith. Its entire value comes from the confidence we all have in the government that issues it. So the big question is, what happens when that faith starts to wobble? The source argues that we're seeing this happen right now on a global scale, and it's not just you and me feeling it, it's entire countries. And here's the proof. According to this source, we're seeing foreign nations lose their appetite for holding U.S. debt and instead are buying up physical gold like never before. I mean, recent years have seen the biggest surge in central bank gold buying on record. That's a huge signal that they're looking for an exit, a safe place away from the dollar. This quote from economist Murray Rothbard really sums up the whole idea. He suggests this isn't just a possibility, it's a historical pattern. Every currency that isn't backed by something real eventually fails. Wealth doesn't just vanish, it gets transferred.
So what's the end game here? What does this all lead to? Well, the source claims that nations aren't just trying to get out of the dollar system, they're busy building its replacement.
The idea is once people stop believing in paper promises, they have to go back to something real, something you can touch, something you can trust. And throughout history, that something has always been gold. The claim is that right now, nations are forming new alliances and using new tech to build this very system, a system with gold at its heart. So here's the three-step process that the source calls the fiat endgame. And it's a cycle that it says has happened again and again. First, the trust breaks. Then, the value of all that paper just collapses. And finally, to fix it, the system needs rebuilt on a foundation of real money to bring that trust back.
And that's our breakdown of this perspective.
The argument is that a currency crisis doesn't happen overnight. It happens slowly, then all at once. It really leaves us all with a huge question to think about, a question about the very nature of the wealth that we work so hard for.